We're not.
It's not. Ooh. Welcome back to the Convo Couch, everyone. Pasta Jardula here.
And I'm Fiorella.
Jonny Sue is definitely spinning on those ones and twos.
He's spinning?
Yes, he is spinning. Like he goes with the weed. Fam, that's about the Technique 1200s. It started back in the days. DJ Flowers. He made it big. all the people in the streets would come running out, and they would just have a block party all there. Poor people in the streets doing it. So,
Sorry,
Johnny just goes with the flow. We start talking about stuff. He's like, all right, the crowd's digging this beat. I'm going to go get this beat, put it in there. He grabs an article or an image or something and elevates the crowd out there. The crowd gets more into it because he's actually a musician behind the techniques over there, doing it on the computer, and he always makes us look good, Johnny. Thank you so much. Check out his tweet, too, as well. Check out Fee's just recent tweet. We put something out there.
Thank you, Christy.
And more importantly, before we get going right here, right now, I want to encourage everybody, because we've had such an awesome blitzkrieg of people going over to our Rokfin to really help us out. If you haven't heard the news, we've been censored. In other words, we've been demonetized from YouTube, meaning we are no longer part of their monetary partnership. So, in other words, they were already, robbing us from our content. Now they can rob us even further from our content, and we don't get any of the monetary gains from it. So pretty much what they did was they went into our pockets and took a third of our money away. However, we were expecting this. We've seen the whole political hurricane of sorts kind of moving this way, fam, with freedom of speech, with censorship, with freedom of the press being infringed upon. So we are here today. But
we are gathered here today. Because we all need to hear the trauma that Congress is experienced.
Yes,
and forget the trauma of billions of Americans.
Yes,
that they're going right now. And I have to say, there's been a lot. Of course, I posted the AOC tweet. Oh no, there's been so much hatred and so much ridiculousness. It's very predictable what they do. Is like they say I'm blaming AOC for the censorship. I didn't even ever say that. I actually am saying she is pushing censorship, because she is, and she has been for a long time. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
The moment she did Cambridge Analytica, Pasta pointed it out. We were just talking about that, and this isn't the first time she's pushed censorship either.
Yeah.
So if you're angry that I'm pointing out that Yas Queen is not the person you thought she was, you shouldn't be, because I thought she was someone else too.
Yeah.
We supported her, like we said yesterday on the show, through and through. And we can make adjustments when we get new information. We haven't changed who we are as far as what we believe in. I still believe in the same thing.
Yeah.
I still believe in healthcare for all. I still believe in something like a Green New Deal or something along those lines that actually bans fracking, though.
Yeah.
Not that's not weak. I'm for free speech and anti-censorship. I am for and I'm against imperialism, and so is Pasta. And so we talk about foreign policy and we talk about these things that a vast majority of the progressive left on YouTube that is not really opposing the status quo doesn't talk about, because they can't go against Bernie. They can't even criticize him constructively. They can't criticize AOC constructively, and they don't talk to people they disagree with. So they live in this echo chamber of Democrats or pro-reform people who literally just sit there and talk about how they're going to elect the next progressive who's going to go in there and pretty much sell them out again. And they diminish and belittle any sort of third-party building movement. You don't have to like the Green Party. You don't have to like MPP. But electoral politics is not working the way it's being done right now. So this is why a lot of people don't care about electoral politics, because they don't see a way in. So if you want people to actually talk about this, then you have to fucking give solutions. And solutions aren't just to go and push committees and sit down and wait for these people to do something that they're not going to do with no pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I think we should have a little conversation about this, fam, because we're talking about the actual movement, where we are, where we've come to. For me, I've taken the gloves off. Right before the show started, I sent another tweet. It's done. I'm done playing the nice guy thing. If you're going to attack our civil liberties and our freedom of press, freedom of speech, because one of the things we do cover too as well, the elections, right? Yeah. So we cover free and fair elections. We're not changing on anything. We're not going to go what's politically expedient to build a following. We're going to go about what we believe is the truth.
Yeah.
Me and Niko were talking about it yesterday. He goes, aren't you glad that we held our ground and we spoke our truth, what we believed was the truth, and we put it out there, and we didn't deter from it because it wasn't looking cool with some of the neo-progressives and stuff. And analyzing the behavior right now from that neo-progressive left on Facebook, on Twitter, on people we talk to as well, is that they work backwards on everything. Right now, they're coming at us at a point and saying, well, why can't you guys build something together like that's going to get more people involved? Well, normally you start about a certain specific topic in which we're doing wrong, which you feel we're doing wrong. We talk about that, and then you might end up with the solution of saying, well, you got to get away from that, and you got to build a bigger, platform or whatever that more people are involved with and stuff, rather than start at what emotionally feels good. When you immediately go to that mentality of like, well, what you're doing is toxic, what you're doing is destructive, and you're not talking about the nuance of what we're talking about, you're working backwards. And the Convo Couch doesn't work backwards, plain and simple, right? We fight for what we believe in, we fight for what's true, and we're going to stick to our guns. This infringement on our freedom of speech, on our freedom of press, is scary. We've been saying for several weeks right now, AOC is dangerous.
And we knew this was coming. We knew that we were going to get censored. We knew this is why we've been pushing people to Rokfin, because we knew this was happening. Bless you. And this is nothing new. To turn this around and say this is an attack on AOC is disgusting, because we're not doing anything. We're just telling you what she's saying. This is her. We're going to be showing exactly what she's saying, her own fucking emails, and all of these things that need to be held to account. Why aren't you attacking other Republicans, Fiorella? Because this isn't an attack. This is a revelation. I don't need to convince you that Republicans are bad. Yeah. Like, you already know that. In fact, you're so blinded by that you don't look at the Democratic Party. A lot of these people that come after us when we go after AOC and say, oh, she's pushing censorship, or she's not doing this, or she's not doing that. Like we said many times on the show, yes, I am extra hard on progressives that ran on Medicare for all. I am extra hard on progressives that ran on a Green New Deal, that ran and said that they were going to be against interventionist foreign policy, that ran on progressive values that I thought they were going to push, that are offering zero opposition to the Democratic Party. They're only controlled opposition because their focus is always on the Republicans and to get your attention to that. Yeah. And that's not going to get us anywhere, because we already know that about Republicans. We need to make sure people know about the Democrats. Yep. This two-party system is one big aisle. It's two sides of the same coin. I don't know how many times we have to say that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny too as well, because out of these two parties, the two-party duopoly, which at the end of the day is something we're against, we're trying to destroy, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily mean go to any third party. We're just saying be done with the Republican and the Democratic Party as a whole. We had a guest the other day. We'll be releasing the video on Saturday, Theodore Rose, and he even said, at least out of these two parties, and he's not with either party, right? No. He's done with electoral politics. He says, but one party advertises who they are. The other party acts and falsely advertise. They falsely, because they act like your friend. They act like they're for the working party, whatnot, and they turn around and they screw you on policy. Yep. So I wouldn't even say that the Republicans are bad. I would say a lot of them are wrong, but at least you can get in there and start talking to them and try to convince them that their ideology is wrong and have those discussions. Not with all of them, but with a lot of them. Right now, the neo-progressive left has been cheering on censorship, saying it's okay. Alex Jones is bad. Donald Trump is bad. Take him down. But when you open up those floodgates and you don't have a nuanced approach to freedom of speech, and then also stretching the boundaries, fans, of what is violent. Now words are violent. I'm not saying like words like, you should go and kill that person. Of course, that is violent. But if you're saying that this person is wrong and that person shouldn't have a job, that's not violence. Saying
there is a possibility that there was election fraud and there are statistical anomalies regarding the general election is not inciting violence in any way, shape, or form.
And that's what they're doing.
And that, anything now is harmful. That's why YouTube made their statements broad, because anything is fucking harmful to them, because it literally is harmful. It's harmful to their pockets. It's harmful to their power. Yeah. So that's what we're all harmful to. And the people who watch us know that our audience is very, very aware and educated. Yeah. And they're not an echo chamber. It's a plethora of people from different backgrounds. That's what I love most about our people, is there's people from all sides of the ideology of the spectrum, obviously mostly leftist, but we've had some people who are more conservative leaning, or who are libertarian, or who don't really have an ideology. We welcome those people. I'm not going to tell people not to watch us because you somehow one time you voted for Trump. What, a bunch of people who voted for Biden or who voted for Obama. Watch me, I voted for Obama back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how people expect to move forward when the vast majority of the country is independent, doesn't vote, or you have 75 million people who voted for Trump. Do you think you're just gonna like somehow convince a working class revolution to happen without actually talking to those people? You're not serious about a revolution. They just want to reform the Democratic Party.
That's it. And they want to keep pushing divide. They want to keep pushing divide and conquer. And it's kind of awful. And it's always about emails. Remember the whole DNC emails? A lot of people were still complaining that Julian Assange should not be freed because they were upset because they felt that he helped Trump. You help Trump with the truth. Ridiculous. If the truth blows it up, then I'll take the truth. It's up for the people to decide, what is right and what's wrong. They should see the truth. They shouldn't be hidden from the truth just because it might not benefit the candidate you thought was better in your virtue signaling mentality. Hillary Clinton was better than Donald Trump. This time, Joe Biden was better than Donald Trump. And Joe Biden took 16 million from big tech. And look at the censorship that's coming on here. All of us in one day. Are we really violent because we have a different opinion? Because we're about building bridges? I think that's what they hated more than anything, was us wanting to talk to the other side. And let me tell you something. When Fiorella and John and ourselves went into the Trump rally at one point, they knew who we were. We didn't hide who we were. We were like, hey, we're leftists here with different opinions, but we're willing to talk to you and we're willing to push back and see where we can come to some common ground on certain issues. Yep. We didn't go in there acting like Trumpists. We went in there as who we are, because that's what real journalism is. You go in there and you talk to people and you get their opinions and you report that. You report the truth. So when you see we have these things in common ground, but that's bad to the movement. No. That's a bullshit movement. I don't want to be a part of it.
They don't even like. Somebody was like, "You should. Don't you have to go interview white supremacists?" And it's like, I've never interviewed a white supremacist, but even if I had, let's talk about all the people that mainstream media has interviewed that have lied on camera, all the damage that those people have done. I'm not against interviewing people in general. I will interview a serial killer because I want to get that perspective. But it's how you interview and the things you say, like Anna Kasparian not pushing back on Madeleine Albright, not completely giving softballs. We asked about healthcare when we had Magnus on, and he's not a white supremacist at all. So now everybody's a white supremacist, everybody's a Nazi, and these people are becoming cops. They want them to become informants. Let's show a little bit of get started with a
really quick.
AOC.
I just want to tell people right now, because we do have 50 people watching on Rokfin. We have people giving us Super Ray tips over there. We'll get to them in a bit. We will read them all. Thank you so much. That you guys are doing a great job getting over from YouTube to Rokfin. We have over 10,500 followers now on Rokfin, but we got to make that grow, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, they really did something very fascist in my mind.
Oh, it's extremely
it's disgusting.
Fascist.
It's really what's going on, you know what I'm saying? And we have to send a message to them, because this isn't just about going and follow the Convo Couch. This is going and standing up for freedom of speech, going to a platform where you won't be suppressed for your different opinions. So please do me a favor. Go over to Rokfin, Rokfin shirt. I'm wearing it today, fam. Proud, wearing it loud. And we're going to get into what's going on. Because like I said, when it comes to emails, fam, for some reason, emails, even though it's not anybody lying or whatnot or distorting the truth, they're mad at the messengers of the truth when they produce this stuff. So,
and I just real quick before we get started, I do want to say that we found out that we may all the money that we made this month, we might not get. The YouTube might take it. Niko said this happened to Tim Black before, and it happened to Jamarl Thomas before when he was demonetized. They never gave him the super chat money. We don't know if we're gonna get it. We get it on the 21st or something.
21st
usually
at night, 22nd.
So it's really shitty. If that happens, you guys, I will fucking flip. There has to be something we can do. That is literal theft. Like, they're stealing your super chats and everything else that we did, and they're taking it, and they're gonna make money, and they're a corporation, and they have more rights than we do.
And remember, about 3/4 of the money we make, and maybe even more, are from your personal super chats to us.
Yeah.
So it's one thing of like, okay, we're taking away the advertisement money we're not giving to you right now.
I don't care about that.
But the personal super chats that you gave to us that they can just hijack and take, we'll see. Hopefully, in lieu of things that's going on, there's a lot of noise out there about what is going on. We'll talk about it right now. But let's get to the email.
Yeah.
One of the best memes I've ever saw, one of the best statements I ever saw on Facebook was one time people were arguing over the DNC WikiLeaks drops, the emails. And one person says, I don't care if Putin scaled the wall like he was MI-6, dropped down, put a freaking hard drive into the thing, took him on out, and escaped through the window. He didn't write those emails.
Right.
He didn't write those emails, so you can't. And the fact that you're mad at the messenger himself, okay, and nobody from the DNC ever denied that those emails were real when they were dropped. Fam, let's talk about this right here, right now, because you sure got a lot of flack from this today. So
if you don't understand, AOC's control opposition is what I said, used by the Dem Party to rebrand progressives as the new liberals. Here is what she's focused on instead of helping people. I firmly believe that, and I stand by my statement, especially after this. So this was an email, and we have the actual email that was sent to somebody, and I asked for verification because people were claiming that it was a fake email.
Fake.
And
it's fake.
Yeah. And so I
read
verified. Yeah. So let's read it because I think it's important people see the language here. As we speak, right-wing operatives with millions of followers on social media are spreading flat-out lies and misleading information about Alexandria. But with your help, we can force Twitter and Facebook to take action and enforce their own rules. What's so frustrating about these attacks is that once the truth comes out, so few people get to hear it. Hundreds of thousands of potentially millions of people will have already seen or shared the misleading tweets or fake news articles.
In other words, it's too late, fam.
We need your help. Here's what you can do to help us combat this campaign of disinformation and others in the future. Scan your social media to find posts with this misleading information, especially those using the trending hashtag. Don't tweet any hashtags yourself because we don't want you to spread them further. Identify any posts that are threatening or harassing and use the built-in report features to flag them for moderators. Facebook and Twitter both have built-in tools for reporting posts and tweets that break the rules. The sad thing is that a lot of damage has already been done. People have already been misled and radicalized. They believe the lies to the point where their hatred could someday boil over into violence. This is exactly what led to the thousands of enraged rioters storming the Capitol building on January 6th. But we can do something about it. We can help set the record straight. When people spread falsehoods, we can keep calling out the Photoshop tweets, fake news articles, and misleading posts when we see them. So if you can help us scan social media tonight and report those spreading this disinformation campaign. Thank you for all you do, Team AOC.
Fam?
Donate.
Donate. Fam. Scary. Scary the way they lump things in together, like the Photoshop tweets with the fake news articles. What's defined as fake news?
Right-wing operatives.
Right from the get-go. From the get-go.
Okay, so this is why that worries me. Am I a right-winger? No.
Wow.
But now you are using a giant brush. You're painting people who are not Democrats with a giant brush, because now they can take that right-wing operative criteria and come on to me and look at my criticisms of AOC and say, oh, she's a right-wing operative, because people are already calling us undercover right-wingers, adjacent left, white supremacist sympathizers. So when you do that and you say that and you accuse people falsely of being white supremacists and Nazis, this is playing right into that. And the people criticizing AOC are not only on the right. Clearly, the left, a lot of people who used to like her are fucking criticizing her justifiably because she is spreading potential completely harmful censorship and fascistic type of legislation, also milking this whole situation for a distraction. I'm not going to disagree with her trauma that she had, but what I am doing is disagreeing with the way she's used it to manipulate and politicize this attack on these right-wing operatives, which it's like, yeah, if you're she's just hyperbolic in her language. And here, this directly affects independent media because now we're fake news. Now we're conspiracy theorists. Now this is misinformation. You know when the last time they used the word fucking misinformation? During Russiagate. Russian misinformation. This is the same fucking playbook now. They're using the same type of thing.
Yeah. I just want to say, really, I think this is something we need to talk about right now, because this really is the mechanism of sorts of anger when it comes to some of these independent media neo-progressive left or anybody on the left who kind of chastises some of us, whatnot, because we're willing to talk to anybody, is the fact is, if in any time, people like us, if we agree with anybody on the right, or we say anything that the right will, will make the right happy.
Nazis.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not just plainly, and that's the language. They're pretty much calling people Nazis out there. Glenn Greenwald said the other day when he was on Jimmy Dore, he was like, I'm talking about Nazis, not what the people on the left refer to as Nazis today, but the real Nazis, kind of talking about the Ukrainians, whatnot. But if you agree with right-wingers in any way, shape, or form, and this is sick,
or a libertarian. It doesn't even have to be a right winger.
Well, they're trying to say that libertarians are all on the right now as well, and stuff. But libertarians, half their values are on the left, and half of them are on the right. You know what I'm saying? Almost half, because they're anti-regime change, war. They're for freedom of speech. They're for clean elections. But beside the point, the fact that we would agree with some Republicans on certain things and a populist working class mindset that really upsets you, then you're part of that big divide. You're part of the whole divide and conquer. And the thing about it is, fam, they don't even realize that they're being duped to do this. They think they're being morally correct by going, you shouldn't talk to that Nazi. You shouldn't talk to that right winger. He's a racist. He's whatever. Painting that broad brush across. So when people like us come across and we'd say, well, that Republican was right about that when he signed that bill, or Rand Paul was right about the fact that
issue.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to get people out of Afghanistan. This right here is the actual specific focal point that we need to talk about right now, because you'll see people on the left, and there's a lot of them, like these white knights, these savior complex, like these Walker Bragmans, these Robbie Martins, these Francesca Fiorentinos, whatever.
Do not
Sorry,
service
whatever her
my
name is.
like
Francesca, Mickey Constant stuff that you cannot, you know what I'm saying? And it's so weird because then they'll go behind your back too as well.
Yeah.
And they'll take pictures with establishment Republicans like Lindsey Graham and whatnot and stuff. So it's just
Meghan McCain.
it's just mind blowing and stuff. We the people, we need to continue to talk to each other. The reason why I specifically like doing the reports on the Boogaloo Boys is not because I'm trying to become a Boogaloo Boy or even try to praise them, but it's just talking to people with different ideologies and understanding that even this little fringe group, they even recognize who the real enemy is, and it's the government. They're trying to control things. So
you wouldn't look good in a Hawaiian outfit. I'm sorry. Johnny would, though. Johnny wears Hawaiians all the time.
You say Johnny? I don't know.
Johnny
Hawaiian?
So another thing I wanted to point out is she's asking her supporters to become informants. Like similarly,
Snitches.
like the FBI was asking for informants, and a lot of people started writing out their family members and stuff, and people's, like this is like very similar to McCarthyism. Like find these like crazy, like it's just a different tactic. Now it's white supremacists. First it was commies. It's the same type of language, the same type of verbiage. So now let's look into
also, part of that letter too. That's really it's really sad. And Johnny's going to put the tweet up.
Yep.
Let's put the tweet up because it says the damage has already been done.
Right.
So I already get this kind of frantic feeling that you're working against the clock. It's too late. Some people can't be saved. Let's get out there and save what we have to do. We're working against the clock. Don't question it. Don't think about it. There's no nuance.
The damage has been done,
people.
But also this is alluding to how she believes people were radicalized,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
They were radicalized through social media. This is why her focus is that, because this is what she's saying. The sad thing about disinformation is that once the truth comes out, the damage has already been done. People have already been misled, radicalized, and believe lies to a point where their hatred has brewed to violence. That's what led to the 6th. And it's happening right now. So she's saying right now, people are still going to be organizing and radicalizing it through misinformation all over social media. We have to control this. And this is what she's doing instead of pushing for fucking healthcare, instead of pushing for fucking a stimulus standalone package, a standalone rent relief, instead of actually proposing something that is a real, like, actual climate action, not something symbolic like she's pushing with Bernie, because what they're pushing is symbolic. There's nothing tangible in it. Yeah. Instead of doing any of that, this is what she's fucking
That's a great
doing.
Tweet. Because that last tweet is also code for we have to have more securities in place. We have to have more censorship. We have to really clamp down hard. We can't let this happen again. So people like the MCSE Network, Frank Analysis, the Convo Couch, Jamal Thomas, take them all down and don't let them ever get up again. And in fact, if people go find refuge somewhere else like they did in Parler, they're going to eventually come after them that way. That's how powerful these people are and who's really pulling the strings. Fam, I love this tweet you have right here because this is so true, because it is not what people are talking about online in the public square and whatnot. This is the real reason why people are pissed off at the end of the day.
Yeah, people are pissed off and radicalized because they're poor. They don't have health care. They've received one payment. It should be $1,800. That was a typo. In 1 year. And if that, because some people didn't get that. Some people didn't fucking get it. And the government has failed them. AOC, this is why people were upset. Because you told them that the election was fair when they saw evidence it wasn't. And even if they were wrong, they have the ability to question it. That's okay. You told them that that they were going to get $2,000. They're not getting those $2,000 now. It might be $1,000 in April by the time they get it. No, like, people are losing their homes. They're living through fucking trauma. The trauma of the empire falling apart. And over here, and we have AOC like talking about her trauma and this and that and continuing to milk the situation. And yeah, I'm going to say this because I can, as a woman who is also somebody that has been sexually assaulted. I take her position very fucking seriously. And I'm not denying what she experienced or didn't experience. I'm not going to question that. But what I am questioning is her manipulations and how she's milking this whole situation to completely distract from the fact that the government isn't doing fucking shit for you. They haven't done shit for you, and that you take it and you take it and you take it. And how much longer are the American people going to be able to take as this thing, they keep saying, well, we're going to have to close down again. This isn't getting any better. And we're at a breaking point. We're at a breaking point. People are desperate right now. That is why they're angry and radicalized. Why do you think there were so many protests, not just for BLM, but militias taking up, people taking up arms against the government, people protesting the Capitol was a symptom of, or an effect of, the causes, the underlying economic issues that we've had for a very long time. That's why people are fucking radicalized. And she knows this. She knows that. So she is weaponizing this and manipulating this and being the messenger, the PR person, the narrative creator for the Democratic Party, for the next generation, for Gen Z to fall back into that party and say, look, we want AOC as a squad. Let's like put him on a pedestal and let's pray to them and let's expect them to do everything, because people are realizing quickly that neither party is the solution, and they want to stop that. So they want to trick the next generation into with somebody like AOC, who's going to be the next Obama. And that is precisely why she's extremely dangerous, because she is pushing for things that are very fascistic under the guise of intersectional fascism.
Yes.
It's a pretty face masking the ugliness, dirtiest type of fascism that is so cryptic that by the time you realize it, you're fucking dead. And that's what's happening. And that is how serious the situation is. It's not just because I'm being affected by it directly, but it is because I see it ramping up as soon as Joe Biden has become president, and as soon as AOC starts saying all these things, boom, like, this is all right into play with what the establishment is doing to all truth tellers.
And this kind of seems like a planned situation too when it's coming out. We
got it at the same time,
all of us. And the thing that's really crazy is that you talk about the cryptic fascism and stuff like that, but she dupes people by talking about stuff on the surface level.
The emotional stuff.
The emotional stuff.
Right.
Somebody did this, so my gay queer friend can vote. Those kind of quotes. We got to fight racism together. There's no nuance to what's going on in the policies and how you actually get fucked. And I got to really talk about this whole tweet you sent out there, because it's so great. I was listening to a guy by the name of Jason Whitlock, who's been an ESPN reporter for a long time, but the guy's come out and he's getting more and more into politics. And he was talking the other day and he says, listen, I don't want to downplay anybody's trauma, but, talking about politicians who are complaining about their trauma, he goes, I'm from Southern Indianapolis. I see kids and mothers and fathers and poor people get traumatized every damn day. Where there's people getting shot, killed, whatnot, home invasions. Everything's going to shit because people are desperate and they're poor. And people get traumatized every day. When are we going to start talking about the poor people out there who are getting traumatized every day? We point out the fact that we're getting near 750,000 people are homeless in America. They can't take a shower. Okay? They can't take a shower. And just look what they have to go through, their mindset every day. The people in Skid Row down here, they're unmedicated. There's a lot of mentally ill people. There's a lot of drugs. And you got to live out there like that? You're on edge every single day. These people are traumatized every day. We need to fix stuff with our citizens.
We need working class solidarity, and she's not doing that. She ran as a DSA or as a social democrat, whatever. none of that. Like, FDR puts her to shame. I mean, she's not. I mean, this is crazy, and it's just like, what? How are you for the workers if you're not pushing economic solutions? Instead, you're making this whole theatrics. Look, she's milking it. She's saying you may not know that you know a survivor, but it's highly likely that you do. Okay, AOC, I am glad you chose to tell this right now and continue harping on it. That's fine. But now she's tying politics to it. That's the problem. Yeah. And many decide whether the story is safe by how someone responds. Sure. Like, everything, I agree with what she's saying. But then she's disingenuous because she continues tweeting about this whole situation. And then she started bringing in this Nancy Mace girl, because the Nancy Mace woman, who is a Republican, made a tweet that said, "I'm 2 doors down from AOC and no insurrection has stormed our hallway." So AOC kind of brought her up and said, "Yeah, but you said you were barricaded and blah, blah, blah." So they're having this back and forth. But a lot of things came up to question yesterday. Now, I was a little bit apprehensive of even bringing this up because, a lot of the right are peddling that she wasn't at the, that they were saying that she was lying. So AOC lied, was trending. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett was trending. Which
we know the Jesse Smollett situation. He said he was attacked by Trump supporters and what, and it found out to be untrue. So
right. Yeah. So it's just, so she's tying like this whole thing about her trauma as a survivor with what happened at the Capitol. So when people are criticizing her, saying, "Wait a minute, you weren't there, you're exaggerating, that there weren't bombs like right by you, like you said, you weren't right in the Capitol building, you were in the general area," and like so now you can't say that. Now I can't say she's pushing censorship because now she's going through trauma, so I need to shut up because she's pushing but even if she's pushing censorship, so there's no like actual ability to constructively criticize AOC because now it's tied to this whole thing.
Yeah. And are you saying she weaponized it?
She's weaponizing everything.
It seems like she's weaponizing.
And it's really shitty to say that because, I'm not dismissing anybody's trauma. Yeah. And I keep saying that because people are going to say that I'm doing that when I'm not doing that. But what I am doing is pointing out that there is obvious manipulation here to put this out there in a way that you can't respond against anything she's doing and pushing, because she's basically pushing to target Republicans, get them out, and censor all these people that are Republicans supposedly. But again, this always comes back to the left, to the people who are anti-establishment, to people who criticize. And it's still wrong to make accusations like they threatened to kill you without having anything to back that up.
Yeah, I think that's part of the demonizing the Republican mentality, and I see a lot of followers are kind of following this same kind of playbook, because every single situation, not only have they weaponized it, but they've stretched it, they've lied about it, they've kind of manipulated it. We talked about the whole Capitol building situation, right? The people who were there at the Ellipse, right, that heard Donald Trump's speech, whether you want to argue whether the speech was inciting violence or not, those people weren't the same people who rushed the Capitol. They had the march down there.
Well, some of them came after, but
but they're still trying to make that insinuation that he said that
then,
speech, and then they stormed the Capitol. They're not even saying
that was already planned.
Those people were already in there. We left, we drove there, and it was at least a 45-minute walk to get down there. So those people weren't even there. So they used that, they weaponized it, whatnot. Even in the election situation, there's been people like, when I watched the Wisconsin hearing, there was one congressman who just lost it. And he goes, "What's a shame is that the Democrats have taken this situation, this tragedy, to use it for their own political gain." And they did when it came to every single way of changing the rules or making new rules or adopting new things for the election for their advantage so that they can cheat.
And both parties do that all the time.
So but this is the establishment, right?
Yeah, but this is what they're doing now. That's why we're pointing it out. This is what they're doing now. So, all I can think of with folks like her dishonestly claiming that survivors are exaggerating are the stories of veterans and survivors in my community who deny themselves care, need, and deserve because they internalize voices like her saying what they went through wasn't bad enough. Like, no, they don't. They can't get therapy they deserve because they don't have fucking health care. AOC, what the fuck are you talking about?
She knows exactly who she's talking to, fam.
This is where the true damage of what Nancy Mace is doing. How many survivors are watching her? Who now, seeing her, won't care or feel further shame or silence, who won't speak up because they know there are voices in leadership ready to minimize their experience. Like, she's making this all about her trauma and her this and how she's getting attacked. She sent out an email asking people to attack and take down accounts of people who are attacking her. So this isn't it's all about her. Do you not see this? This is a classic very narcissistic type of individual here. It's really scary.
But is it from somebody else who's pulling the strings in the background, who's trying to kind of incite some type of civil war with the people against each other? Because her rhetoric has been completely like, I don't even want to work with these people. They're racist. They tried to get me killed. Whoa, wait, they're racist. They tried to get you killed? Like, where's your evidence? Where's your proof? And even the fact that the way they attacked that girl, what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're trying to make her out to be a nut job. Oh, look at this person. She doesn't believe in the Vegas shooting. She doesn't believe in the Pentagon hitting the building. The bottom line is she's been so vocal about the elections that they want to shut her up because she's talking about the elections. Because that's the main thing that she might not believe about that stuff now, but she's not trying to litigate the Pentagon building and freaking the Vegas shooting. She's trying to litigate right now what happened in the elections. So that's why they want to shut her up, throw her off committee rules, just silence her and get her out of there.
Which sets
and they're
a
lumping
precedent.
in that if you're against elections, you're part of those same conspiracy Pizzagate people that people try to put out there like assholes, like Walker Bragman. Shut the hell up, you idiots.
And like this is. It's just so dangerous now because we can't talk about elections. It sets a precedent. It's like, I don't agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene's assessments, half of them, or more, maybe more than half. But the reality is you can't put election fraud as one of those things that's conspiracy, because it's not. Just a year ago, the Democrats were talking about it. A few months ago, Bernie Sanders supporters were talking about it. You can't say that it doesn't happen. We can't look into these machines. So we can't verify one way or the other. So what, like, to try to make this a targeted attack to go after specifically only people who propped up the election. Now they're saying it's a bunch of right-wingers and stuff, but really Pasta's right. It is people who question the elections that they want to attack because they don't want that to ever happen again.
And that's the thing too as well. Right now it's the people who were there at the January 6th protest, right? The majority of people there, they're not domestic terrorists. They're not fascists. It was a bunch
of Trump supporters
that were pissed off that they didn't feel the elections were fair. That's why the majority of people were there, and they wanted proof. And that's the thing. You had every means to present the proof. You could have opened that stuff up, had a real audit, just like the bullshit audits they had in Arizona, right? 4 times, like, we've had 4 audits in Arizona. No, all you do is show that the machine is working properly right now. You're not going and giving a full forensic audit. And I've talked to people who are on the ground in Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin, as well as Arizona. It's a bunch of crap. They are not showing us their work. They're pretty much just sealed everything up, put it through, get it through, and run off. If they were so confident that Joe Biden won the election, then let us have the audit. They never will. And that's what's going on in Arizona, and they're fighting for that right now, fam. But that's the majority of those people that we see right there. They thought the elections were unfair. Bottom line, that's why they were there.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have gone there if it wasn't for that one issue, fam.
And there's a lot of people that are also suffering and are blaming the wrong people.
Yeah.
You can't discount that. People are suffering and they're blaming the wrong people. And there was people there who, were wealthy, and there was also people there who were not wealthy. Because like we said, it's not a monolith. No group is a monolith. And it's like people are going to say, "Oh, you're defending these people, blah blah blah." No, I'm just telling you like what we saw.
Yeah.
I don't like we didn't go in there and everybody was like trying to like attack everybody. That's not what happened. There was that group of people that broke through, which, by the way, like AOC said multiple times, they had word that people were going to come in and do something. Yeah. Why they didn't fucking do anything about it, I don't know.
There were more people surrounding us at the force to vote
I know,
that there were over there. Like literally, we were less than 50 people. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. So AOC also got in a fight with Jack Posobiec, and she said this is the last manipulative take on the right. They're manipulating the fact that most people don't know the layout of Capitol Complex. We were all on the Capitol Complex. The attack wasn't just on the dome. The bombs Trump supporters planted surrounded our offices too. So that's the thing. The bombs Trump supporters planted surrounded our offices too. That didn't happen. So I don't agree with anything Jack really usually says, but like, she wasn't in the Capitol building. She did make it out to be like she was. Now she's saying, okay,
Yeah.
but it's the complex. Okay, that's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay, fine. Like, I
But
believe
it wasn't.
you.
That's everybody
But-
was by the dome, right? That's where the majority of people were. John, did you have something to say?
No. Didn't she say she took the tunnels? Pretty sure she said in her story, hour-long story. Tunnels.
Yeah, that she moved from. Then she went to Katie Porter's office.
And yeah,
Yeah, but Katie Porter's office is like far. Like, she made it out to be like, oh, they were here and I had to run and it was right there, and then she didn't make it out to be like she had to go a really long distance.
Johnny, what do you got up here?
This is the Capitol Hill. Where storm is.
That building right in the middle, right?
That's the lake.
Yeah.
So
That
it's
building,
one.
yeah,
So
that's the
we're-
building.
This is the backside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were over here protesting over here. Remember? That's the park over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is where the office. We actually looked up. It says Congressman Mark Tano, but it was the same address, 1117 Longworth.
Yeah.
Right.
Washington D.C. office. We looked that up here, but Cannon building.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is off the side of Capitol.
Right.
Far away from where the crowd is.
So they're not in the Capitol. So, but she kind of like, she's saying they're manipulating the fact that most people don't know the layout. The Capitol complex.
That's the whole thing.
now
she
it's a
wants,
Capitol-
That wasn't just on the dome. See, now I wish we had gone over there to see if there were any people over there. I don't know if there is footage of people over there.
In the most watched city in America, they have no footage of people there. They could easily bring that up.
And
No.
let's also talk about the
Damn,
pipe
my mic
bombs,
was
Johnny.
off.
Right? You look at the pipe bombs. Once again, they Seth Greened the footage. And if you know what Seth Green, Seth Riched the footage. In other words, they can't find the footage of anybody putting those bombs that were over by the offices of the DNC and the RNC,
Yeah.
which is what what we're talking about. So they're really stretching the truth. They're obfuscating big time because they're only telling part truths and making you think that she was still there.
Well, she's
while
exaggerating
crowd
the
was
truth. I don't
surrounded.
even think I wouldn't even say she's lying as much as she's exaggerating.
She made it sound like everybody was in the Capitol building. Sorry, my mic wasn't on before, so let me go through that again.
Okay.
So Katie Porter's office is right here, 117 Long Wharf, HOB, Washington, D.C. I looked it up. It brings up Takano's office, which is
was the old one.
1507. I don't know why it doesn't want to go to this. See, now it's like not loading up.
Oh, deep state.
Johnny Deep State.
It's not loading up. It was just loaded up. You guys saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so there's the Capitol building, and then over here is the office. You can see the tunnels here. There are tunnels
Yeah.
under.
Yeah.
That's
so,
where everyone was evacuated from the Capitol building.
Right.
They evacuated into the tunnels and either to the Cannon buildings over here or some other buildings. It looks like they
Everybody
could've
was
gone
at the
over here.
Capitol.
And they also have trains too
And
that
so
run.
all the Trump supporters were here
Yes.
and here.
And back
and
towards
we
the
don't-
lake. Show
and-
the lake area.
The lake, yeah, the lake area's over there. I can't move.
They were back behind that lake.
Oh yeah, they were way beyond
A
that.
ton of them.
And I'm not aware of any protesters that were over there. I haven't seen any footage. I don't know. I haven't done the research on that. So we got to do the research on that. But I will not make a claim that there weren't or were any protesters there.
I will make the claim that if there were,
she did play it out. She did say her story like she was in the Capitol.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and I will make the claim that in the most watched city in DC, if there were protesters, we would know by now. They would have already used that to their favor. I haven't seen any sort of claim that there were. We didn't see anybody there, but we obviously don't have the whole aerial view. I'm not bringing this up because I hate AOC and I want to be in agreement with the right on this. I think a lot of the attacks that come at her from the right are not constructive, meaning like they focus on her bartending job, which I think is dumb. I think, as somebody who has bartended before, I'm extremely capable and extremely intelligent. So when you're dismissing somebody's job, like that's, that's a low blow. When you're dismissing somebody for their race or gender or saying that they're dumb or just, but when we're talking about constructive criticism, I'm talking about the fact that she is being extremely hyperbolic. She is pushing censorship under the guise of her trauma, and she's pushing a coordinated attack on a group of people she disagrees with on elections and using the framework that they're all racist and all of this. Meanwhile, simultaneously doing all of that while people need help, while people need healthcare, while people are dying, while people need food. All these things are happening at once. That's my issue with her. She is distracting from the very big problems Americans are facing, the very big things that Joe Biden is doing and is not doing for the American people. And that's why that's the focus is right now for me on her, because she's not being truthful and she's not doing her job. So I'm going to hold her accountable, especially if we fucking helped put her in Congress.
Yeah. And I think, like you're saying, people are just taking this situation and, Scott Wong, right? The lawmakers will share their personal stories on January 6th on the attack of the House floor. AOC will kick off the special order hour. I mean, why aren't we talking about what the people who experiences that had to go out fight off in these bullshit wars in Afghanistan and that were stationed in Syria? That why don't we talk to the mothers?
Bring in Palestinians, the Yemeni people, and bring in Syrians to talk about their experience.
Why don't we talk to the mothers who lost their childs to PTSD that blew their brains out?
Yep.
Why don't we talk to some of the 750,000 homeless people on the street and talk about their stories?
What about the millions of uninsured Americans who can't afford the insulin for their kids, so they have to pick between their kids' life or paying their rent and getting kicked out? What about that family that was kicked out of that hotel? Are we going to hear their fucking trauma? Because I would rather hear their trauma. Or how about all the hospitality industry folks who are out of work? What about their fucking trauma?
Or the
AOC?
Small business owners that had to close down their shit because they didn't get no help.
While Gavin Newsom gives his friends the ability to open up and exist, while Nancy Pelosi gets to go to get her hair done.
Why don't we talk to the 50,000 people's families who got bombed by American bombs last year because we're just putting people like Lloyd Austin Green and the defense secretary who used to work for Raytheon now. I mean, why don't we hear their stories? Why are we hearing the stories? When did Congress become the protected class? And fam, that tweet that you brought up one day when they said we need to get Congress people the right medication for the therapy they need. I mean, are you fucking serious, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry for cursing, Mom, but that is just ridiculous nowadays. So they work for us. They're supposed to be protecting the little guy out there. They're supposed to be working for their constituents, not putting them on some pedestal like they're gods.
They're putting on a play, a theatrics, with a bunch of actors is what they're doing. Sharing their stories of the Capitol attack on the House floor. Is that that's what they're doing?
And did you show that, Johnny? To do this.
The sharing of the
tweet from Scott Wong?
Yeah. That they're gonna be sharing their stories. I mean, that's disgusting to me. I'm really pissed off about that. Why is this about them? All of a sudden now it's about their trauma. While they do nothing, while they do absolutely nothing for you. Yeah. How does that now make your blood boil? They're doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And what led to the Capitol attack? All this online, letting people get all these crazy things about them, and now all of a sudden, we got to censor people because we can't never let this happen again. They tried to overthrow the government, fam. If they were trying to overthrow the government, they'd still be out there fighting. Just think about some of these Trump people who are doomsday preppers and all the military they got stocked up. You really think that was an insurrection? That was a fucking false flag if I've ever goddamn seen one. They were letting people in. I thought they were going to take them over for a hot dog and a soda when they turned in their ticket. Come on in, and stuff like that.
Insurrection is what we're doing in Syria. What we've been trying to do in Syria for the longest time. Because they ruffled up
Pelosi's office and shit? What are you fucking
I thought
you
didn't like Pelosi. I thought Pelosi's ice cream fridge was terrible. I thought she was Pelosi, Queen. What was her name? Marie Antoinette the Fifth. I mean, I thought she was Marie Antoinette Pelosi. But no, now all of a sudden we're protecting them. Nobody's saying that they should have been killed or anything like that. I don't think people are at that point. But what people are saying is why is this all of a sudden, oh my God, why are their interests and their woes and their traumas so much more important than the American people whose traumas they're not even giving a shit about?
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, you're doing a great job, by the way, of going over to Rokfin. We've had over 100 people watching. Let's get up to
Sweet.
150 today. We have a lot of super rays. We'll get to them as soon as we're finished with all this stuff. We want to continue on. There's 565 on your YouTube. Get on over there. Help us out. Stand up for the little guy. Stand up for freedom of speech too, fam, because this has been weaponized. And you know who said this right a long time ago? It was Jonathan Pye after Trump won. He goes, you know who did this? The left did this. Where is the left? Left media, left journalism has been nothing more than the propaganda arm for the establishment and the elites. That's what they've been. They've been pro-war, anti-freaking freedom of speech. They're awful. And right now, who's writing articles? Is anybody writing articles about the great purge right now? What's going on with independent media? The way we were all pulled off at the same time? The way they're trying to cut our legs, try to cut our voices? No. Fox News has to write an article, right? I mean...
And so, and it sucks for us because, like,
Jesus, here it is.
Like, here it is. So Fox had to write this article, and because The Intercept doesn't care. I mean, TYT doesn't care.
They don't care. TYT doesn't care. They're the chosen ones. Vosh. Those are the chosen ones.
Oh, yeah, he got his Twitch back. Yeah.
The day we all got demonetized, they gave him his Twitch back. But, that's all okay. As long as you're speaking, and this is a guy who wants you to unite. He wants to still go out there and tell you why you should vote for Joe Biden. What he did because he did it for humanity.
He's an anarcho-Bidenist.
Please, he's so awful. So anyways, go ahead.
So YouTube's dangerous crackdown on independent journalists. It defies all logic and reason. So Fox, they did an article and they mentioned some of us. The clear goal is to disempower alternative media. Independent journalist Matt Taibbi tells Fox News. So they, basically they talk about several journalists, including us. They talk about Ford Fisher. They mention several people. Hold on.
If you go down,
is there anything you want to like?
No, you go.
Yeah,
down.
I mean, you guys should read it. Check it out. Gabbard. They did that's another article on Gabbard. There's Ford Fisher.
Johnny's got his tweet in there and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't get an email, right? Did we get this email, Johnny?
For what?
You should have received an email with more info about the reason for demark.
No, they were referencing the original email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are here if you have more questions, John.
Yeah. No, but you know why they pointed this out in this article, right? Because the left-leaning media outlet, the Convo Couch, was similarly demonetized for harmful content. When pressed by co-founder Jonathan Tsunami to reveal which videos specifically violated the platform's policies, Team YouTube replied, "We can't share which specific videos were harmful."
Yeah.
You should have received an email with more info about the reason for demonetization. Because I asked him straight up, our channel was demonetized with harmful content being the recent as seen in the screenshot.
Yeah.
Replied to my first tweet. Can you tell us what exact content was harmful? And they said we can't share which specific videos were harmful.
So you're not interested in letting us have our channel back because you're not going to tell us what to fix.
So then we said YouTube expects us to take a guess at which one of our 1,000 videos violated their policy.
Right.
YouTube expects us to censor ourselves while we strongly believe that none of our videos violate their harmful content policy. They're purposely being ambiguous about what exact content violates their policy. Yeah, and then we talk about the
we talk about why they're being purposely ambiguous, right? Okay, so now if they're purposely ambiguous and they paint a broad brush, they don't have to tell you what's going on specifically. So that would actually harm them if they had to tell you what's going on specifically, because then you can put out another YouTube person like, well, you didn't take this YouTube channel down for the same thing. Right now, so they're protecting themselves by being broad, by being vague, and not telling you specifically what's going on. Because if they told you exactly what they took you down for, you now have ammunition against them to plead your case and to prove them
wrong. And they wouldn't tell us because why the reason they took us down is because we are a threat to the establishment and what the lies that in the propaganda they spew and the people they're there to protect. They're there to protect the status quo. They're there to protect the idea that Democrats are going to help us. They're there to protect the belief in a two-party system of establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats. That's what they're there for. They're so threatened by independent media that has woken people up, that people are paying attention to. They're losing viewership on CNN and MSNBC. They don't like that. That's hurting those pockets. Yep. And so when you have somebody that is a threat to you, the first thing to do is attack their money lines, is try to like cut the cord and stop them from continuing to speak, because you don't want people to hear this. That's the first thing. The other thing is to use the guise of conspiracy and misinformation to falsely accuse people who are actually putting out the truth as being misinformative, as being liars, and as being conspiracy theorists, which is exactly the tactic that the establishment uses. And unfortunately, a tactic that oftentimes is pushed also by several members of the progressive boutique left, who use and weaponize the same type of argument against people they don't like simply because they don't like them. I'm looking at you, Walker, you know, and Vosh and all these people, and like some
Robbie
of them are going to be censored too. Believe you me, it'll come for you eventually.
It will.
And
once you allow a little of this shit to happen like that, forget about it. They open up the floodgates.
Yeah.
Caitlin Johnstone also wrote a great article too as well.
Yeah,
She's always
she did.
on top of it and stuff. We all received the email at the same time. She missed Niko House, and she says YouTube financially deplatforms a swath of indie media accounts.
Yep.
YouTube has demonetized progressive commentators Graham Elwood, Progressive Soapbox, Convo Couch, and Franco, as well as a freelancer, Ford Fisher, who films U.S. political demonstrations. That's all he does, is he films the demonstration and brings them to you. Great article. Also, Niko House is part of this whole what are we going to call this? The great censorship of sorts.
yeah, the Great Purge.
The Great Purge. He's part of the whole purge situation. So, yes, go over and check out our article. It's awesome. Caitlin Johnstone, she always tells.
And yeah, thank you
like
for
it is.
including us. I know she gets attacked constantly too by the same people.
Yeah.
You know, she gets framed as a Nazi sympathizer and all these things, but she does amazing writing and amazing work.
Yeah.
And thank you for being one of the only leftist people to support that, right? Like this is, I mean, to support us, to really uphold us right now in this time. So
guys, 560 watchers on YouTube. Smash the like button. Let's piss off YouTube. Let them know they're messing with the wrong peeps. But then go over to Rokfin, Rokfin. Sign up for free. It takes a couple minutes. 1, 2, 3. It's easy peasy. You got $9.99 a month for premium content. Our premium content, as well as everybody, comes with that $9.99 purchase, and you're really helping us out. And if you want to join in the financial gains, get yourself a crypto wallet of sorts. Look into it. Buy some Ethereum. Convert it to Ray. Watch us grow. We've had a great turnout on Rokfin since this has happened. We have 118 people there now. We want to get 150. I'm going to start reading the Super Rays. Let you guys have anything to add to this conversation.
I think people are asking us, you know, saying, "Oh, I'm surprised you're still streaming on YouTube." You know?
yeah.
Well, we talked about this yesterday, Johnny. Me and Niko, right? They've demonetized us now. How long until they pull the channel completely? That's the next question, right? They can't silence us. They can take away our money. Because why do they take away our money, fam? Tell everybody. Because they want us to do other things.
Yeah, they want us to stop.
They want us to stop, right? Okay,
Yeah.
but now they're still allowing us to be up here, whatnot, to spread the message. Go over to Rokfin. Help us out over there. They have never censored our voices. They've been great. It's a great platform. They've been improving it. They just beta tested a Android thing. They're going to be releasing that too as well. They're giving us all the features. They finally listened to John about the Super Ray. Well, I called it the Super Ray. Johnny said you have to have the same tip mechanism that they have on YouTube, and they have that over there. So I can't thank you guys enough. We can't thank you enough for the love you've shown us. But please, we have a lot of work to do. This is only the beginning. They're going to continue to silence people's voices. They're going to continue to try to completely deplatform them. We're waiting for stuff to happen on Twitter too as well. Forget about it. So all these people are connected to the elites, the establishment, the Jack Dorseys, the Susan Wojcicki's. They're awful. The Mark Zuckerberg. So get on over to Rokfin, Rokfin. Sign up for free. If you can endorse us for $9.99 a month, do so. We need to get that subscriber base up, and you're really helping out everybody on that platform who's over there, those independent voices who are also getting shut down. It's kind of funny because a lot of people on Rokfin are a lot of the people who got shut down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dolores Lima, thank you for being the truth speakers. Thank you, Dolores Lima, for the Super Ray contribution. Benny Massimo, the Convo Couch received a tip from Benny. Thank you, Benny. Art V says, fuck YouTube for what they did to you guys and all the other channels I watch. Yeah, Art V, fuck them. Sorry, Mom. I had to say what Art said. He paid for it. Free speech was always my number one issue. That's my real line. You know what? Embled Fate or Embled Fate? It was mine, too. Always been. I always made jokes about it. We laughed about it. Pasta the Libertarian. I'd say, I don't know if you know this, fam. I'm a civil liberties guy, but look what's coming back to haunt us more than anything. The civil liberties. And this is an area where the progressives and the neo-progressives just are non-existent, fam. We would talk about this stuff all the time. Well, Alex Jones deserved to be platformed. He's spreading hate. Like, hello? No. Medicare for All was supposedly some of the neo-progressives' line. Could I call out AOC for supporting fascist censorship and ignoring my issues, or will they attack me? They will attack you. I already know the answer. I don't support people who support anti-free speech. I love Emerald Fate. That is exactly how I feel. Ditto, ditto, ditto. Matt gave us a Super 8 tip. Thank you so much, Matt. Mad Wolf. Oh, and fuck AOC too.
Damn.
Sorry, Mom, but I got to read it because that's what Mad Wolf said, so that's what we're saying. You're right, Mad Wolf. Fuck her. The Convo Couch received a tip from Angel Santos. Thank you, Angel Santos. Should I do it like Bruce Buffer from Angel Santos?
Jesus Christ. My eardrums.
I did it in the ear, Johnny. Mary Garand, the Convo Couch received a tip from her. Same with Patrick, we received a tip from. Misha Key, here for the Convo Couch and Niko. All love. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. Right now, by the way, we have 121 people over there. We want to get more, so help us out. We want to get to 150 today. Their name is Fuck YouTube. Long live Rokfin with the fist. Thank you, Fuck You, YouTube. Muhammad Afzal. Where you been, Muhammad? Always late, but we love you. We always save a spot for Muhammad right here on the Convo Couch. Thank you so much, Muhammad. We love you. RW and whatnot. Don't ever change, Pasta. Keep going, guys. Thank you. RW, I will not change. Is it RW stand for right winger? Ooh, just kidding, RW. Tell us what it stands for. We love you, and thank you for the Super Ray. Remember the battle story of HRC at the airport that never happened? Sound familiar? Are you talking about the Capitol building and when Hillary Clinton was receiving fire on the, where was it? On the air mark. It was in, not Croatia.
Ukraine?
No, it wasn't Ukraine. Oh, my God, I forgot where it was. It was an area we bombed. It was an area that Clinton bombed.
Which one?
Bill Clinton bombed.
Oh, are you talking about not Kosovo?
Kosovo, yeah.
Really? Kosovo?
Yeah, it was. It was. Thank you so much. Indie Online Weekly, thank you for the Super Ray. In the beginning of her speech, she mentioned she was a survival of sexual assault. Then she went into violence at the Capitol along with correlating GOP were like abusers.
Right.
Trying to move forward from the incident. Maybe it's me, but it really felt like she was trying to mix in her personal sexual with violence at the Capitol, making them almost one and the same. Am I wrong here?
No, that's exactly what I felt. That's what was my problem with it. It wasn't that questioning her experience. It was the fact that she was using that to tie it into a political narrative. And that's dishonest because that has nothing to do with anything. So,
guys, we got 120. Let's get to 150. If you're on YouTube, get over to the Rokfin. Carrie Mark says, I can't hear what Johnny's saying. That's when Johnny turned on his microphone. He became Johnny Microphone. Glenn Cobe says, I love the rants. Passion is thumbs up. Thank you, Glenn Cobes. That's awesome. Benny Massimo. Another tip. Thank you, Benny. Stephen Anthony. Thank you, guys. No, Stephen. Thank you. Shipmate. Julie Meisels. The Convo Couch received a tip from Julie Meisels over on the Rokfin. Thank you, Julie Meisels. You are awesome. Puff Adderall. Is that when you chop it up, you put it on top of your marijuana and you puff it? That's some disgusting stuff. Puff Adderall says the Convo Couch. Hey, fam, I grew up in a pool hall. I had to try everything at least once.
Jeez.
Cicada Dave, thank you for giving us the tip in the Super Ray, Cicada Dave. I'm going to call you Super Dave. Sandy Brion, thank you so much for the Super Ray, Sandy. We really love it. Carrie Mark again. We love Carrie, don't we? Words are an act of violence. AOC. Yeah, be careful. I had a couple adjectives kick my ass one day. Brian Lewis, fuck YouTube. Brian, I couldn't agree more. Mom, sorry for cursing, but I got to do what I got to do.
Oh my God, pasta.
We are all now Alex Jones. Who will speak up for us? I don't know. We got to keep
all
speaking up for each
Assange.
other. Let's
all be Assange.
We are all Assange. Jason Bellinger, keep up the good work, the Convo Couch. I'm so glad to move from YouTube to Rokfin and become a premium subscriber. Encourage the rest of YouTube watchers to move to Rokfin. Fuck YouTube and its censorship. Listen, guys. You have to change your habits. I used to get up right away. I used to see what's going on and immediately go to my YouTube. Don't do it. Immediately go to your Rokfin. We got some great content creators over there. And if you know a content creator that ain't over there yet, tell them to get over to Rokfin and stuff. Start your day off. Start your habit right. You know, it just becomes habit forming to go to YouTube. Change it. We don't need YouTube anymore. They've sucked us dry. They've lied to us. They've propped up their establishment lackeys.
Yep.
Just go over to Rokfin first. Start the habit. That's what I'm doing. I'm going right to Rokfin first. Start over there, and then you won't even need to go over to YouTube sooner or later because they're going to eat their words. They're going to eat what they did over here. Tyler Reinhardt, thank you so much for the Super Ray, and thank you so much, Jan O.T. and Nonik. I tried. Jano, thank you so much for the Super Ray. Rocky Bellinger, keep up the good work, fams. We love you, Rocky.
Stay safe in that snowstorm, Rocky.
Larry Fine, YouTube's out of order. Twitter's out of order. The whole fucking social media world is out of order. Except Rokfin, fuck you, YouTube. See, Larry, they don't even understand. They didn't see that movie with Al Pacino back in the day. What was it called? Ladies and gentlemen, put it up in there. You're out of order. She's out of order. He goes crazy. It's a whole out of order thing, fam. That's what he was doing. So I had to entertain and act it out. So glad to be on Rokfin, says Jackie Pagao. YouTube is silencing dissent. When you see the scene, you're going to say I underacted.
You overactor.
Guys.
Sorry. AOC is an overactor, too.
Oh, my God. She's terrible. She's got the wrong script. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Johnny, you got anything else we want to show before we get out of here?
I'm trying to find our premium trivia. I'm going to make a playlist there, a stack for you guys.
You talking about the trivia game? We had a fun time. Go over and see some of your favorite social media, independent media commentators battle it out in trivia. And I think Fee already spoiled it that she won a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And I did not like that and stuff. I wanted, the other contestants to win, but just like our chess game.
He was telling me to lose.
Remember when we protested at Pelosi's house?
Oh, yeah.
Pasta was in a chicken suit.
I was in a chicken suit.
There it is.
Later on that trip, that van got its windows patched in while we were sitting in it.
Yep.
In Portland.
In Portland. Because we went to Portland right from there.
We cover on the ground shit.
Yeah. You guys made that. They made that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You guys made that possible. Really, you did. You helped us out that time. You're helping us out this time. You helped us out get to Washington when we covered the Force the Vote, Action for Assange, and Stop the Steal rallies. We covered 3 at one time because you guys kicked on in and really helped us out. You can see those trivia stuff. You got Jamal, Cullen, Graham. What was the one above it, Johnny? Right over there. You had Slow News Day, Jason Burmis, Jackson Facts. You had Fiorella, Tina-Desiree, Berg, and who's the other one?
Melissa
Michelson. We had Roby Yeager, Dak, and Pasta. We had one, I believe, with Kim Iversen.
That was our first one.
Ron Placone, Graham Elwood. We've had so many fun people. Johnny's going to make a playlist, and you can take a look at that. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty awesome. Go over to our Rokfin. A lot of our stuff is there. And join the revolution.
And if if Rokfin's not for you, you just support us through Patreon or PayPal or anything that, everything helps now. Like I said, we don't know if we're going to get we don't know if they're going to steal our crap. And, we're talking to other people who have been affected and we're trying to figure out exactly how to proceed and what to do. And we know that, there's only so much fighting we can do through the courts. They have endless amounts of money to spend against all of us.
Yeah.
They have endless amounts of influence and power, and all of us even combined do not compared to these people, to these corporations. So it's crazy that this is happening right now as everybody's distracted with AOC's bullshit. But I think a lot of people are seeing the light, and a lot of people are seeing how she's getting exposed and coming to terms with the fact that she isn't who we thought she was and who we sent out to actually help. That the entire squad hasn't been doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's not just her. She's the most popular one because she's the most vocal and she's the most social media presence. And like I said many times, we could be doing actions right now to get healthcare, actions right now to get a stimulus, all of these things that we desperately need. And we're not doing that. And she could very well organize that, and she's not doing that. So yeah, we're going to keep holding politicians accountable. I welcome the fucking hate of people who hate the fact that we point this out, who just want to bury their head in the sand and pretend that nothing bad is happening and protect these politicians. I'm not going to let you go through that for the next 4 years. I'm not going to let you blame the boogeyman on the right when the Democrats have both houses. They can there's no excuse now. You get zero excuses from me. because the Democrats have both houses. So you don't get to say, oh, well, Trump this and that. Trump's fucking gone. So now you don't get to fucking focus on his supporters because there's a reason they voted for him.
Yeah.
And you can't just continue doing that shit. I'm not going to let that happen. And we're not going to stop talking, and we're not going to stop saying the things we're saying. Even if we get attacked and we get mocked and all the shit that happens, we're not going to do it. And, you can call us fringe. You can call us whatever it is you want. But the reality is that people hate people who tell the truth. In the beginning, when everything's falling apart and the empire's crumbling and you get that cognitive dissonance, they fucking hate it when people point it out.
Yeah.
And they hate that it's being pointed out by people that they don't like. And so they just have to vilify and malign the messenger, discredit them in any way, shape, or form. But the truth still stands no matter how you feel about it, no matter how you feel about the person saying it. It still stands, and that's the most important thing.
Says it. Yeah, and the neo-progressive left hates it if you align with any ideology or on any one subject with anybody from the right. They hate it right away. If you agree with any Republicans whatsoever, they hate you for agreeing with Republicans because they want to be able to say that they're Nazis and make themselves look like the virtuous ones.
And we're closer than ever. Yeah. We're closer than ever to actually having people realize that we're getting screwed because we're all actually the most screwed that we've ever been. Yeah. So where that inadvertently makes you feel that you have to fight for something because you have no choice, that you're getting screwed by a bunch by the government, by both ends of the establishment, and you see that camaraderie with a working class person, that it's going to disappear. All the bullshit, it's going to disappear when you are directly affected because you can't fucking feed yourself or your family. That changes things. That is working class solidarity. And all these fucking fake leftists that want to talk about working class solidarity, they don't know the first thing about it because they're completely dismissing it. This is a very elitist, progressive, boutique left that's out there. And they don't care about actually challenging the system because they benefit from it.
Yeah, and that's the truth right there. You just said it, fam, right there. They want to agree within their own echo chamber with leftists. It's okay to be a right person, a conservative, or a leftist, but you have to go with the populism. You know what I'm saying? What the populists want, what the working people want on both sides of the aisle, because that's where we find common ground. And this cancel culture and calling the other side Nazis or fascists is just another form of weaponizing to keep the two-party duopoly in order. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not even just that. They're not just calling them that. They're calling people who are completely not Nazis and aren't completely even on the right-wingers. Like, they're calling people like me who is
fascist sympathizer, fam.
It's so stupid. It doesn't even that doesn't even anger me as much as make me be. It depresses me that people are that fucking stupid.
Well,
and that easily manipulated.
They're easily duped by their emotions, and that's why that's how they get you. They dupe you on your emotions. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all these people on the YouTube. Get over to the Rokfin. We still have 120. We have some time. I have some more super rays to read. Plus, I want to send a special thank you out, fam, to all our Patreons, all those people who left all that love on that PayPal the other day. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. That was amazing that you did that. So PayPal love, Patreon love, we love you too as well. The rest of these super rares real quick.
Just sharing and liking too. That helps too.
Sharing and caring, fam. A.S. Van Hoos. Have you ever wondered why? If you ever wondered if maybe AOC and other congressmen could be threatened with murder by the CIA if they don't do X, Y, and Z, fam?
Well,
are you trying to manufacture consent for them to do this, or are you trying to look at another angle and say, who's the enemy we have to take down? We have to abolish the Pentagon. We have to abolish the CIA, right?
I mean, I agree. It's the same way that the cops are taking orders, right? Some of these politicians are puppets and they take orders. So, but if you're going to be, this is what they need to realize. If you're going to be a politician, if you're going to go into Congress and be a public servant, your duty is to the public, no matter what. It's not supposed to be I'm going to get rich and then get a blue check and come out of this and write books and just be set for life. That's not what being a public servant was supposed to be about. It was about representing your fucking people and the people in your fucking district. That's what it was about.
Class.
Not just being an elitist and sitting back and pretending and playing like you're doing something and really not doing anything. So we got to stop that with these politicians, that they're somehow a higher class than we are when they're not.
That's why we question these elections, because they're out there to serve themselves, not out there to serve the people. If 80% of the Congress believes we should have some form of Medicare for all, why don't we? 80% of the people, the working class, believes that we should have Medicare for all. Why hasn't the Congress approved it? Just think about that. Hunter Carranza, thank you for the Super Ray. It's awesome that you gave it to us. Kathy Lewis, thank you so much for the Super Ray. That's awesome. We love your love. We love your help. And Revolutionary Koala has finally joined. Thank you so much for that Super Ray. Did I miss? She said anything? No. And I think I got one last one. Trevin Pinto says, stay strong. You are heroes for the election coverage. Thank you, Trevin Pinto. We will not stop talking about that. That is our area of expertise. We understand how elections work, so we can bring you the truth about how elections are run. Johnny Sue, anything else? That's it. So for Pasta Jardula,
Fiorella,
Johnny Sue on the ones and twos. Tomorrow, Caleb Malpin joins us.
Yep.
Fam, I think we should talk about socialism.
We will.
All right. So
Come
we'll see you then.
along.